Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Talks. You know, there are days as Doctor Who fans, you know, you hope to wake up to some good news. And today has been a good day. And why is that? Well, because the man who hired Chris Chibnall is leaving the BBC. Piers Wenger is leaving the building. Yes, folks, he has been headhunted, believe it or not. Why they would headhunt Piers Wenger is beyond me. But when I was thinking about it, Doctor Who isn't the only so-called quoted drama that BBC has. And if you look at all of his other work besides on Doctor Who, you've got the likes of Peaky Blinders and Line of Duty. He has actually done well. He has actually done well. It's with Doctor Who is where he has failed the most. He's the head of BBC drama and he is leaving the BBC. Now, for a lot of Doctor Who fans out there, Piers Wenger was a stumbling block for a lot of people. Right? With Chris gone, a lot of people were saying, well, they want Piers Wenger to go before they will decide whether they would watch the new series of Doctor Who. Now, I'm after seeing a comment in here which is actually at the making me day, because this person obviously has been very skeptical about everything that's been going on and, you know, didn't believe that the changes would be made that needed to be made. But I love this comment because it sums up what I believe are two of the main stumbling blocks anyway, which was Chibnall and Wenger. But I love this comment here. Best Doctor Who news I've heard all year. Now the two main sources of vile wokery infecting Doctor Who, Chibnall and Wenger, are out. RTD has a chance to bring the series back to life. And I'm glad to hear you say that, because I know you've been very skeptical. And I know, you know, you've been extra cautious and stuff. And rightly so. You know, I've never, you know, all I've just tried to explain is that no retcon would be done by RTD. That's all I've just tried to say. But with Wenger gone, this is very good news. It's very good news. But, you know, it's not going to really affect the new series of Doctor Who anyway, because as I told you, Bad Wolf Productions is actually taking over. So BBC's influence would have been non-existent anyway. They wouldn't have had much input. So, you know, so it doesn't really make a difference in the long term, to be quite honest. Wenger didn't commission either Peaky Blinders or Line of Duty, no, but he was head of drama and was in charge of them while he was there. So he mightn't have originally got these shows running, but he did become head of drama and did take over those shows. And, you know, it does look like that to me. A lot of people have said he's jumping ship, jumping a sinking ship. I think that's very accurate. I think BBC right now are not in a great position. And it's not just because of Doctor Who. It's because of the BBC News and all of that other stuff. They're not a reliable network anymore, unfortunately. But it looks like Piers is jumping ship. Apparently, according to RT's interaction with a fan, RTD has cast the new Doctor. Yeah, I said that the other day, that the new Doctor and companion were locked down, done. But this is good news. This is good news, everybody. You know, but as I said, it wouldn't have had much of an impact on Doctor Who anyway. You know, because, as I said, Bad Wolf Productions. This is a bad. See, the difference is Doctor Who from 2005 until present day is BBC and BBC Studios, right? After this era is over, two more episodes, right? The production then changes to Bad Wolf Studios. So it's Bad Wolf Studios Doctor Who from then on, right? So this was the thing. Piers Wenger would have had little influence anyway. But the fact that he's gone out of BBC is a good thing, because I do believe BBC need, and we have said this for a long time on this channel, and even some of the people in the chat have said it. Piers Wenger has to go as well. He's part of the problem. And as someone said, someone says to me, what was the comment? Hold on. Because it is a true comment. And it kind of sums it up. It's a bit of a double-edged sword here, because, why is my phone? I'm literally charging this phone here. Seriously, man, it's one of those days. Hold on. Will you bleed and charge? Like, seriously? Bleeding phone. Anyway, my tweet was, I wrote up, so Chips is gone, and now his boss, Piers Wenger, is leaving the BBC. Too. Great news. Piers needed to go. Glad he took the new job. Good riddance, asshole. That was my response, because that's what I think of him. I think he is an asshole. Then someone wrote, which I think is probably a true comment. Sorry about the sound in the background, right? It shouldn't actually be really going off like that, because I have the battery indicator sound off. But for some weird reason, this phone from China is just doing something. Don't buy a phone from China. So without Wenger, we wouldn't have RTD back. Although arguably, without him, we wouldn't need him back either. And I think that's a true comment there. Wenger is the one that brought RTD back. But the fact of the matter is, we wouldn't have needed to bring RTD back if the person that he had hired in the first place to fix the show, which was his boy Chibs, well, then we wouldn't be in this position. But we are, and while he is gone, and while we should celebrate, at the end of the day, it should not be forgotten the role that Wenger played in all of this, right? Because Wenger did have say in bringing RTD back. Wenger is the head of BBC Drama, right? Now, even though he's accepted a new job, while he's in the job, it's his job to hire, right? So he did, whether he's like it or not, Piers Wenger did actually have a hand in RTD coming back to Doctor Who. But it was made a lot easier for Piers Wenger because RTD had made it known that he would like to come back. So it wasn't a hard, when Piers Wenger says it was an easy decision for him to bring back RTD, it literally was, because RTD was basically banging down the door saying that he wanted to take it. So it was the easiest decision that he had to make as the head of BBC Drama. But whether he is like it or not, he did have a part to play in bringing RTD back. And, I hate to give him credit for that, but he did. And that's the bottom line on that one. But look, it doesn't matter. really, who brought RTD back, to be quite honest with you. The fact that RTD felt it necessary to come back in the first place is quite telling. Listen, yeah, look. Obviously, we don't, Lee, yeah, right. Obviously, we don't know exactly what goes on behind closed doors, do we? No. And yep, you could be right. Pierce was probably told by the higher ups to make the right choice in next showrunner. I'm not gonna say that isn't possible, but the final decision was Piers Wenger's. So even if he was forced to do it, he still did it, and he still came out and confirmed it. Anyway, what we'll do is, obviously I haven't put the links to the article into the link description, but I will after the fact. But let's have a look at this article and let's see where he's going. So this is an article from Deadline. This was the article that was sent. It's actually funny because when I woke up, right, I literally had 7 or 8 people. No, wake up. Piers Wenger is gone. So when I woke up, that was the first thing I seen. Big smile on my face. I'm delighted. I have to say, I am delighted. I do think, BBC. Look, I'm not a fan of the BBC now, but I was a fan of the BBC for decades. A lot of us were. We grew up with the BBC. Even here in Ireland, we grew up with the BBC. And BBC was making some good quality programming when I was growing up as a kid. Even in Lee's time as well. I think Lee is a little bit older than me, but even in Lee's time, great television. He'll tell you some great television was made. It is sad to see where BBC was to where they are now. Now, BBC as an organisation always needed to change anyway, because there's a lot to carry on within the BBC. That needed to be changed. The culture needed to be changed and stuff like that. But there were still some good people working there. And we've got to remember that, not all the people that work at the BBC probably agree with the ideology that the BBC have right now, The BBC was the best TV in the world at one point. Exactly, Lee, and I'll even admit that. And I'm an Irishman. BBC's programming, back in the day when I was growing up, was some of the best. I mean, Saturday night on the BBC and ITV. I mean, that was primetime television. You had your comedy shows, your family variety shows, and then you had shows then, comedy shows and stuff like that. And then obviously Doctor Who came back in 2005. I mean, BBC used to produce some of the best stuff, but now, obviously, as Lee says, now the BBC produces the worst. I'd rather watch Palestine TV. Jesus, I can't believe you're actually saying that. But there you go. That's how bad it actually is. Yeah, listen, the 60th anniversary article, JFO, that you sent me, I've already spoke about Matt Smith and David Tennant's return on this channel last year. So while the Sun newspaper and other newspapers are saying it's breaking news, it's not breaking news for anybody that's been watching this channel. We've spoke about David Tennant's return and Matt Smith's possible return on Doctor Who because we had received that information, right? And it was also actually, there was a couple of posts on Reddit as well, if I'm correct. I think Marty as well found a couple of posts on Reddit as well, which actually confirmed this as well. So this is not news to me or news to any of me subscribers. We've already known about David Tennant and Matt Smith coming back to Doctor Who. It's interesting. We will have to wait and see. Look, as I said, I think for the 60th, he's going to give us something familiar, to try draw us all in. And then Series 14, we're going to get something completely different. And with Piers Wenger gone as well, as I said, his influence on this new era of Doctor Who anyway was limited. Now that he's gone, that'll. The reason why I'm glad he's gone is because there's still fans out there that believe that BBC have influence on what's going to be done on Doctor Who. What they don't understand is that's not the case. But with Piers Wenger gone now, maybe fans will actually start to realise that everything that I've been telling you is true. BBC have no say in what happens with Doctor Who, folks. You need to get that through our heads now, right? BBC is not running Doctor Who, and any YouTubers out there still saying that BBC have influence over Doctor Who is lying to you. They're lying, right? Is he actually gone? He's been offered a job. He's took the job Tardis time, and I'm about to read the article. So let's read the article. As I said, all I've seen is that he's gone. I haven't actually read the article yet, but here it is anyway. So A24 lures BBC film boss Rose Garrett and BBC drama director Piers Wenger in a splashy international hire. So not only have they taken Piers Wenger, they've also taken the film boss. So whenever you see BBC movies, they've taken that person as well. So there they are there, both of them there. There's Piers there, look at him. And by the way, it must be, it's obviously official there because they've got the old poster there. So he is gone, yeah. Looks like it. Sorry about this. With all these bleeding ads coming up because, deadline and all, this is how they make their money and all of this crap that's popping up on my screen. So A24 has made two splashy international hires in the shape of BBC executives Rose Garnett and Piers Wenger, who will join the ambitious US distributor and producer to oversee their growing international film and TV slate. Wenger is currently director of BBC drama, where he has overseen series including I May Destroy You, Bodyguard, A Very English Scandal, His Dark Materials, Normal People, and Small Acts, both in close collaboration with Garnett. Previously, he was head of BBC drama, head of drama on Channel 4, where he commissioned Humans, National Treasure, Southcliffe, and The End of the Fucking World. Garnett currently serves as director of BBC Film, where she is overseeing a slate of titles including The Power of the Dog, Souvenir 1 and 2, The Nest, and Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, whatever the crap there is. Prior to that, she was Film 4, where she paired an award-winning winners, The Favorite Room, 3 Billboards Outside, and Ebbing, Missouri, and American Honey. Jesus Christ, the names of some of these things that they produce is fucking awful. Based in London. All right, so they're not going, they won't be going too far. Based in London, the newly created roles will continue to see Garner and Wenger working closely with creative community in the UK and beyond. Their collaborations will be inclusive and wide-ranging, working with producers, directors, and writers, new and established, to make forward-thinking, talent-focused work. Well, Piers will certainly fit right in there, won't he, with all this inclusion bollocks, as if like TV has never been inclusive before. It's a new fucking thing. The double hire will be a blow to the BBC. Who gives a shit? Wenger will leave the organisation in May. Oh, so what we in March, April, May? So 2 months. 2 months and he's fucking out of the building. Well, don't let the door hit you on the way out, mate. Ben Irving will take the role of acting director of BBC drama until an appointment is made. Garnett will also leave in May. Eva Yates will take on the role of acting director of BBC film until the appointment is made. The duo said, "We have loved their time at the BBC. We've learned so much working with brilliant storytellers and wonderful colleagues. Leaving was a difficult decision, but A24 has built something unique. We feel lucky and exhilarated to be joining them." Anyway, upcoming A24 projects in partnership with the BBC include Shane Meadows' period drama series The Gallows Pole. I can't pronounce that name. I'm not even going to do it. So there you go. Anyway, there's the shy that they're involved in. A24 credits include Euphoria, which Cheryl watches, so she'll be Cheryl. Piers Wenger is going to ruin Euphoria. And Rami and films including Minari, Moonlight, Lady Bird, Miss Summer, Amy Uncut Gems, and The Tragedy of Macbeth. Jesus Christ, can you not just come up with simple bloody names for TV shows? Upcoming TV projects including The Sympathizer, a limited series from Park Chan-wook, starring Robert Downey Jr., underrated a doc series with Steph Curry, and Beef starring Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong. Upcoming film releases including Everything Everywhere All at Once, starring Michelle Yeoh, whatever. Alex Garland, Men. Jesus Christ Almighty, who cares? Anyway, there you go. I'm not reading that stupid fucking article. Anyway, Cheryl's a fan of Euphoria, right? And Euphoria, according to her, is great. Piers Wenger goes in there, watch the quality of that show dip, because it was the same. It was the same with Misfits on Channel 4 when he was head of drama on Channel 4. Before he took over, Misfits was great, right? And then himself and Matt Stevens, who actually worked on Doctor Who as well, right, was part of Misfits. And from Series 3 onwards, that show dipped in quality and the wokeness was slapping you in the face. I loved that show up until the first few seasons. Now, don't get me wrong, I watched the whole lot, but it was never the same after those two, Piers Wenger and Matt Stevens, jumped on board. Right? When they jumped on board, the quality of that show dipped. Right? And that's a fact, by the way. Go and watch Misfits. You will see that the first couple of seasons, season 1 and 2, are brilliant. Season 3 is not too bad, but Matt Stevens is actually there for the third season. But you can actually see the quality starting to dip. And then Series 4 completely goes off a cliff. Right? And then it didn't last that long after that then. It was ended after a couple of seasons after. And I thought that show would go on for a good while. But it ended up that they ended up finishing up that show, which was very sad. But Piers Wenger and Matt Stevens were working on that when the quality of that dipped. So, yeah, I think anybody that's a fan of Euphoria is going to be pissed right now. So, yeah, do you know what I'm going to do? Because Marty did send me a couple of messages. Marty does have a bit of news. Obviously, again, it's something that we've already heard on this channel. We've already spoke about it on the channel, you know. And, you know, I think there are people like me out there that could figure these things out. Because I did say the Easter special was definitely going to be Easter. And even people were saying, no, it's not going to happen Easter. And I was right about that. Again, you know, these are stuff. You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this out. If this one is Easter and then the next one's the centenary in October, well then, if Piers Wenger's, if RTD is going to be starting, well then he needs to be starting filming in the next couple of months. So, Marty, I've sent you an email there if you want to come on, because I know you do have a bit of news, but obviously we've already spoke about it, but come on anyway, and we'll give an update. But how do you guys feel about Piers Wenger leaving? Is it a decision that will now make you decide to watch Doctor Who? Because I do know for some fans, listen, there's a couple of stumbling blocks for some fans, right? So for some fans, it was, well, if Piers Wenger is there, nothing's going to change, right? Piers Wenger is gone now, right? For other people, it was Chris Chibnall had to go, right? And Matt Stevens had to go. They're gone now, right? So, the only stumbling block that I could see that's left, or two stumbling blocks that are left now, are the casting, and obviously, people have said that the timeless child nonsense needs to be retconned. Now, as I said, and I'm going to make this very clear, if that does happen, it'll be Chris Chibnall that will do it, right? It won't be RTD. But I think this is very good news. And they are jumping ship. I mean, those two people that they've just mentioned, Piers and your other woman who's in charge of BBC Film, this is actually hurtful to the BBC. This is like they're losing two of the people that they consider the best in the job, right? So BBC right now, look at that organisation's in a lot of trouble anyway, right? And to lose two of the main people upstairs is a big deal. But yeah, when I talk about casting six, Nick, people have said unless he casts a male doctor, they won't come back. The Gormless Children's anniversary was today. Yeah, I've seen that BBC Twitter. There's only 13 doctors. That's it. I know some of you don't class Jodie Whittaker as the doctor, but whether we like her or not, she is. But there's 13 doctors. The rest of the doctors that were set up, even the Meta-Crisis doctor, even the War doctor, Roots doctor, and all of those, they're anomalies as far as I'm concerned. There's only 13 doctors, and that's it, right? Rats jumping ship, says Tardis time. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I feel that this is, man, right? They're jumping ship. They know the game is up, man. They know the game is up. It's absolutely this. Look, am I surprised that Piers Wenger's jumped ship? He jumped ship with Channel 4 to move to BBC when Channel 4 were doing very well. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say Piers Wenger has been completely bad on everything that he's done, because he hasn't. He hasn't. He was great on Channel 4. Now, while Misfits was ruined, right? There was other dramas on Channel 4 and E4 that were very good, right? So he's hit and miss. He's hit and miss. And I've noticed, actually, the two sci-fi shows, because Misfits was a sci-fi show, that's where he's messed up. He's great at all the other drama, but when it comes to sci-fi, he's rubbish. Well, 13 doctors, 12 actors. My headcanon is Ruth, the Timeless Child, and the Doctor from Another Universe. Yeah, well, if you want to do that. Phil Collinson is coming back, so that's good, says Bad Wolf 66. But let's get Marty on, and let's see what the story is with the latest on the world of whether it's Gallifrey base or wherever he's gotten the information from. As you know, Marty will go onto these forums and see if there's anything out there that's reliable or worth talking about. And I have to even admit myself, I'm not very, me, I don't really think Reddit or Gallifrey base is reliable. But in saying that, there has been a person on one of those, I don't know if it's Gallifrey base or Reddit, who has been spot on. So, it'll be interesting to see what else they've had to say if it's the same person. The bookies are picking up on Michael Sheen again. I don't think Michael Sheen's going to be the Doctor, to be quite honest with you. No, I don't think so. Now, I'd love him to be the Doctor, but I don't think they're going to go down that route. Even though money is no object, I think they have someone else in mind. And as I said, it already looks like that the new Doctor, because RTD has basically confirmed it, because Lee is right. He's been on Twitter and active, and someone actually asked him, was the Doctor cast? And I've seen his response. So it looks like the Doctor is already cast. So let's bring Marty on anyway, because he has some news. Welcome, Marty.
Hello.
From MCT, folks. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because as soon as he's starting to do stuff now, but as soon as the RTD era starts up, he'll be full steam ahead. But welcome. Nice to see you.
Well, how's it going? I'm not too bad. I've had a crappy few weeks, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'll just get it out of the way. A mate of mine, a good mate of mine, took his life there 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I've sort of been away for a bit because I'm just still processing.
Yeah. Sorry for your loss, man. I mean, it's a fucking this whole situation with the world and all. Man, look, I'm hearing it from other people as well. You know, it's a fucking stressful time, and you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't see a way out of this constant fucking negativity, man. It's ridiculous, man. But look, may he rest in peace, and I'm sorry for your loss, man. I hope you're doing a little bit better anyway.
He's in a better place now, like, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, news, and there's enough stuff here that could fill up a bloody office full of paper and loads of stuff. And I just says I'll come on and clear my head and chat to you because I haven't been chatting for a while. Yeah, all the forums and this, that, and the other. Basically, right, first thing I've seen, and I said to you earlier on, because I'm studying media and stuff like that, I'm signed up to like a job page, and on this job page, it's basically like jobs that are going, and within the media industry, so different, like, you know, production, editing, stuff, all that kind of jazz. But anyway, I decided one day I was going to type in Bad Wolf, just the heck of it, just to see if there's any jobs going Bad Wolf. And they're looking somebody to work in the props department. I think I sent you some messenger. And the production dates start from the 25th of April. So basically, putting two together here, it seems to be the production. It's run the first production. There's 2 blocks of filming. So the first block runs from the 25th of April to the 7th of July, or the 29th of July.
That must be the 60th then. That must be him filming the 60th anniversary then. Yeah.
And the second production date runs from the 7th of November to July 2023.
Well, and that'll be for the Series 14. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, Marty. It actually makes sense if you look at the timeline and you look at where the announcements have been made now. It actually makes sense. So I think there is something in that. So film, I know some people have already speculated that filming has already begun. It hasn't. It hasn't. And if it did, we would know about it. Trust me. Filming hasn't begun on the RTD era yet. But the dates the months that Marty is just given there, that would actually make sense. Go ahead anyway,
So yeah, that's been said. I've heard an interesting rumor. I've heard something very, very unique. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I thought I'll throw it out there and let you see what you think of it. Somebody told me that apparently Chibnall has a cameo in the centenary. I'm not even joking you. Chibnall apparently has a cameo as a news reporter in the centenary special.
What's he going to be doing? Just standing around picking his nose or something?
Literally, it's going to be like him as a news presenter, like literally reading the news.
Oh, so he's got that much of an ego. Let me get this straight. So he's got that so much of an ego that he's actually going to put himself in the centenary to do a bit of acting. Oh,
that's something I hear. Now that could be absolute garbage.
Yeah, look. Normally, I would say, Marty, you're talking out your arse, man. Don't be believing that sort of stuff. But this is the Chibnall era, right? So anything's possible here. So I wouldn't rule it out, man. I wouldn't rule out. He's got that much of an ego. I wouldn't be fucking surprised. But look, as Garbage has said, He thinks it's fake news. I mean, he won't even appear on interviews, which is true. But think about illogically garbage. I mean, if he's on the set of Doctor Who and he's felt, I mean, he's not going to be, it's not going to be fans there, watching him act. Maybe that's why. Do you remember the time where they had all the covers and all the stuff covered up? That was probably Chibs doing his scene or something. I can imagine, man. Nah. Look. Look. I don't see it happening, but if it does, it's just another indicator to me that this fella has an ego that's beyond anything I've ever seen. To be quite honest with you. I don't actually see it happen. I'm pretty sure though RTD had a cameo. I always thought in Aliens of London. I think it was Aliens of London, or it was the Cyberman one in the parallel world where the people are all standing around. I'm pretty sure I saw RTD.
I don't know. I
actually on camera as one of the crowds.
I don't know. You might have.
But look, I don't see it happening because that wouldn't go down well with fans. I don't think.
That photo would be memed the hell. They would meme the hell out of it though. It'd be great meme quality. But
it shows his ego as well.
Yeah.
The fact that he puts himself in his own series that hasn't been received well, and then he puts himself in it. That's a bit of an ego trip, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Rumors, you probably have heard them yourselves about Sophie Aldred. There's a rumor that she's going to appear. I don't know if it's fully or a cameo or what. But Sophie Aldred and Janet Fielding, who played Tegan, are apparently going to come up as cameos in the centenary. That's another thing that's been going around Reddit. And then there's obviously the rumor about, I think Eddie was sort of one of the first people to say about this, about the 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors appearing, but they're not playing the Doctors. They're playing it's been suggested they could be playing the Watcher or something like that, or I don't know, some sort of dream sequence. But yeah, the guy who actually is spot on came out and said that Davison, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy are going to be in the Centenary Special.
Yeah. Again, on the companions, though, remember when RTD was announced and I said, don't rule out former companions returning. I spoke about this as well for the specials coming up. I said, don't be surprised if Chibnall throws out all of these member berries, as I call them. And I wouldn't be surprised, man. As I said on this channel, Chibnall has actually messed up RTD's plans, because RTD, I think, was originally going to do a multi-doctor story for his 60th, but Chibnall has kind of put a spanner in the works because of what he's doing in the centenary. And apparently, RTD wasn't happy about it, which I don't blame him, but maybe that's Chibnall's way of saying, well, fuck you, you took over my job, and I wasn't fucking told, so now I'm going to fucking ruin it for you. And that's what I think it is, man. I think Chibi's has thrown his toys out of his pram. He's not happy that he's being replaced by the man who actually made Doctor Who popular. And I think out of revenge for his centenary, he's decided to do what RTD was going to do. So that's put fucking RTD now in a bit of a lurch, because, Chibnall is only thinking of himself like he's always done. So, don't be surprised. Look, as I said, don't be surprised if we see former companions, if we see former doctors, even former villains turning up. This is just, it's just typical. It's just typical of Chibs. You know, I know I'll bring back the member berries because I don't write a great story, so let's just bring in the member berries anyway. He thinks the
Yeah.
Sea Devils are going to do it for us, right? Sea Devils, look at you could bring the Sea Devils back all you want, Chris, right? You're not going to convince me with the Sea Devils because I know the story overall is going to be shit, right? So you could have the Sea Devils, the Daleks, the Cybermen, and every other fucking villain in the one fucking episode. Your writing is so bad it won't make a difference. So that's why I keep saying poor fucking Sea Devils because he's not going to do them justice. They're going to be ruined just like everything else that was ruined.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing I was told when I told you in the message, someone's told me that they know who the Doctor is. Again, I'm not even going to say because again, I probably going to end up with egg in my face, and more likely will be egg in the face.
I'll tell you what, you tell me in the private chat and I'll read it out who it is.
Yeah.
So if anybody has egg on their face, it'll be me. But I'll say it's rumor and speculation
Yeah.
anyway. So write it in the private chat for me
Yeah.
who you think the Doctor is. And
this is who I've been told. This is who I've been told that the Doctor is.
Right, come on. And I'll tell you if that's a name that's been brought up. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Right, I haven't heard that name.
Yeah.
Right, hold on. I want to see what, because names to me are just names, if you know what I mean, until I
you'll
actually
know
see.
when you see him. You'll know.
Yeah. Right, hold on. Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, now, in fairness, I will say this. This actor, obviously, he starred in Doctor Who before. And ever since he's been in Doctor Who, there have been rumors, you know, and his name has been put forward. So the guy who played Alonso in Voyage of the Damned apparently is tipped to play the next Doctor, folks. That's rumor,
Russell Tovey.
speculation, of course. So it's Russell Tovey. So it's the guy that played Alonso who ended up with Captain Jack, as you know. So that's apparently who they have in mind. Now, if RTD has actually cast him, that'll be interesting. This Voyage of the Damned is his. So this will be interesting. I mean, how will he spin this? You know, because with Peter Capaldi, remember he played two different characters, and they explained that. And with Martha Jones, they explained it was the cousin, right? That's how they looked like each other. The cousin that was killed in Canary Wharf in the two-parter Cybermen Dalek story. So it'll be interesting to see if it is him, how he spins this, or will he just ignore the fact that he's played a character in Doctor Who before and just run with it? Or is this, you know, the Doctor, as it was suggested, can go and revisit some familiar faces, which means, you know, not just revisiting his faces, but other people's faces too. I don't know how I don't know how everybody feels about that. If he was cast as the Doctor, how do you feel? I've been overlooked for the role again. To be fair, I'm not an actor, but that hasn't just being cast as Robert. I know, yeah, I know. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, he's the guy, and anytime I try to find out my companion, there's only one name that I'm hearing, and it's Lydia West. There's only one name I'm hearing all the time. It's her.
Yeah, but I think the girl from that show, Sex Education, that actress, I think she actually, I actually think she is the companion. I think that's who they've cast as the companion. I really do. I think she is companion. Now I haven't been told that 100% she is, but I believe that, you know, because it's been reported by multiple sources, and you know, when it comes from multiple places, not just coming from the media. Yeah, I think she could be. I think she could be actually the companion, which means then if they're going for a Doctor, it's not going to be an older bloke, folks. That's why I do believe it's not going to be Michael Sheen. If they go with Horse, the actress, they're going with they are going with a younger doctor, or they're going with a doctor that's in between both, but they're not going for an older doctor.
And another name that's been mentioned for a companion as well is, well, we've seen It's a Sin. Callum Scott Howells, he played Colin, and It's a Sin.
Right.
He's the same age as me, so I feel old. He's the same age as me. So yeah, he's 22. He was in It's a Sin. He's very good. I'll send you a link to him so you can see his Wikipedia. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, we'll give you that link there. There you go.
Sorry, I'm on my Hawaii 5-0 buzz. Right, he's a Welsh actor, singer, television personality, early life, career, blah blah blah, personal soul user. Oh, but he was a contestant on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah, back in the day.
So in 2012, he went on to Britain's Got Talent. Right, and then 2021, then he got his big break on It's a Sin. Because he says, show me what you think you're made of as himself. And then he was a contestant in Let Us Shine. And then he got his first job down there properly in It's a Sin. Right.
22. Lee, anybody that's like the same age as me, I know, 22. Like, anyway, I feel ancient when I'm only 22. I feel ancient.
You there?
He's older than me, so yeah.
Yeah, you're cutting out quite a lot, Marty.
I think it's my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is messing about a lot. But yeah, I feel yeah, I feel old. The fact now that that if he is going to be a companion, that it would be somebody that's the same age as me.
I'm just hold on. I just want to see if I can. Hold on now. I just sent a message there. Just want to find out. Let me see. The Doctor Who and a Hawaii 5-0 crossover. Well, Hawaii 5-0 is finished now, so couldn't do a crossover now. They couldn't renew the contracts of the actors, so the show just ended abruptly after the last season, which pissed me off. But I'm watching now. I'm coming up to the series 3 finale. Now, I've watched this show before, but I stopped. I think I stopped midway through series 4 because it was moving and stuff. So I never got to see how it ended. There was a particular storyline that I was looking at, and I haven't seen the end of that storyline. So it's coming to the end of that storyline now. So I'm actually delighted that I've watched again. But what a show! And by the way, I know we're talking about Doctor Who, but just real quickly, it's kind of funny that Alex Kurtzman gets a lot of stick for Star Trek and stuff, and rightly so, because he's shit, right? But he's behind Hawaii 5-0, right? And that show is absolutely brilliant. Again, it's like the Chibs situation, right? When it comes to other stuff, bar sci-fi, Alex Kurtzman and Chris Chibnall are great at what they do, right? But when it comes to sci-fi, that's where they fail. And Alex Kurtzman, let's be honest, he fails big time. But he was behind 5-0, and it's a great show. I watched the old one growing up. Obviously it was reruns back in the day, but I watched the old one growing up, and I've watched the new one, and the new one is actually brilliant. And I won't have anybody say a bad word about that show because it is good. It's very well good. sometimes there might be a two-part, and you might get an old cliffhanger and stuff, and it'll just be well done. But it just goes to show you, when they're in their element, when they're in their comfort zone, they can produce some of the best TV. This is what I can't understand. You're giving people jobs like Chibnall, like a Kurtzman, that aren't normally associated with sci-fi. So I just don't get it. And look, I think BBC years from now, and I think Chibs even himself years from now, will probably admit that they got it wrong, because he did get it wrong, and BBC certainly did get it wrong. You don't hire someone that just does the drama to take over a sci-fi show, especially a sci-fi show as big as that. And the same with the people behind Paramount and all of that, behind fucking Star Trek. They should never have given it to Kurtzman and JJ and people like that. They haven't got a clue. But anyway, go on, Marty. You want to say something?
There's a bit of breaking news. So, Good Omens has just wrapped filming. And Michael Sheen has just announced that his wife is pregnant. So, we have a potential Omens just wrapped. So, a nice wee 6-week break, potentially, for David Tennant. And then,
well, it fits in for filming the see, it's all lining up, because I remember people saying, "Oh no, David Tennant or Michael Sheen, it's impossible for one of them to be the Doctor, because they're going to be filming Good Omens, right?" But look, these people are not stupid. They don't fit their schedule around it, and obviously, RTD knew when Good Omens was going to finish filming up, because obviously it's part of isn't it part of Bad Wolf Studios? Is Good Omens part of Bad Wolf Studios? I'm not sure.
It's Amazon. It's Amazon.
All right.
It's Amazon Studios. Yeah.
Right. But it's distributed by Bad Wolf, isn't it?
No, I don't think they.
Or is it BBC Studios?
BBC and Amazon. BBC and Amazon Prime.
Right. There you go.
So
anyway, that's look. It's funny because again, the other side have been mentioning women only, because they're obsessed. But every woman that they've mentioned now, what's her name? Keely Hawes, wherever now, Kaylee Hawes, wherever her name is. Now that's another person, as you know, who has been mentioned as a potential Doctor. Well, it transpires that she's actually doing a new drama now, or a new show, so she's going to be unavailable. But it is funny that any time these people on the other side mention an actress that they'd like to take over as the Doctor, ends up doing something else. I told you, and I'll say it again, RTD is not going to cast a woman for the role of the Doctor. They've tried it once, BBC, and it's failed. And I don't care whether you agree with it or not, whether it failed or not, and you can spin it all you want and say, "Oh no, she's brilliant, she's successful," and all of this. Well, I think the London Comic Con photographs actually sum up how popular Jodie Whittaker is, because if you look at that, right, there was about 300-400 of them there, and they were there to see Jodie Whittaker. And I was informed that the people that were there, that there were a lot of people that were going to see other people that were connected to Doctor Who, and not necessarily Jodie Whittaker. But if you see that photograph, you actually see the true reflection of this era, because every single person nearly in the photograph is a woman dressed as Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, right? So they talk about inclusion and diversity, but when you look at the photograph, it's a bunch of white women, right? White women, right? Where's the diversity? Where's the diversity there? There is none. There never was. This is all bullshit. And if you haven't watched my video on a certain time, lady, I put it up last night. Go and check it out. Watch wait, you see the contradiction from this woman. This is what we've had to deal with, and they're so weak that they go off crying and bitching, right? 300, 200, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, that those people that turned up for that photograph, that turned up to see Jodie, that was all her fandom right there in that photograph, right? And the funny thing about it is, when I looked at the photograph, 5 women in that photograph jumped out at me. And why did they jump out at me? Well, 5 of those women in particular have gone around and abused and accused blokes like myself of stuff that isn't true. So that's the kind of fan that she attracts, right? Is a bunch of fucking sad psychopathic idiots that think that women should rule the fucking world and all of this stupid rubbish. And I'm sick and tired of it. And she'd be getting called out every time. But the thing that annoyed me the most about her was then is the next day she came on, she wrote, "Oh, the quote tweets are terrible." I feel like I'm abused. I went and I had a look at her quote tweets, by the way. Right? There was 10. Out of those 10 comments, quote tweets, there was one that called her a stupid bad name, right? They called her a bad name, right? There was one. But if you read her tweet, she made it out that she was being abused, right? Left, right, and center, right? So she's lying yet again. Still now, after being called out for her original tweets anyway, she backtracked, played the victim, and said, "Well, look, I did this article to say that women shouldn't," and nobody was buying it, right? So then she came out with the victimhood, as you always get, and that's what she's doing now, victimhood. And I don't like people like that. She's a liar. She's dangerous. The rhetoric that she's gone around saying is disingenuous. To turn around and say that Doctor Who was not a safe space for women or didn't embrace other fans, which is basically what she's trying to say, is a lie, right? Doctor Who's fandom has never had any boundaries, right? The boundaries that these fans have come up with is in her head, right? Now, the problem is with that girl is obviously she's a very insecure young lady. If you read her tweets, she actually is a very insecure young lady. The problem is she projects it onto the fandom, and because the way she feels, she throws up these stupid, ridiculous comments about how Doctor Who isn't a safe space, or it's a safe space now since Whittaker's era. Then she tried to backtrack and say, no, it was always a place for women, but now it feels safer. So she backtracked yet a second time, right? This is what they do, right? She's talking out of her arse anyway. Doctor Who was never a man's club, right? This is the comment that gets thrown. Well, Doctor Who was a bit of a boys' club, a man's club. No, it wasn't. We never, ever, even in the classic era, never stopped the women from being fans of Doctor Who. If there were women that were out there that were fans of Doctor Who, so be it. It's like all of this, then she started, well, that's not what I meant. I meant trans people and I meant bisexual people and all of this. Another thing I will say, nobody gives a fuck about any Doctor Who's fan, sexuality, sexual preference, gender, skin color, right? They don't give a shit about that, right? Nobody gives a shit about that. If you're a fan of the show, you're a fan of the show. It doesn't matter whether you like sausage or fish. End of story, right? I'm sick of this fucking rhetoric, right? Nobody stopped any women from coming into the fandom and being fans of the fucking show, right? It's all in her head, right? Because and here's the ironic thing about it. She talks about how she never felt at the show or she never felt safe in the fandom. She's a fan since 2005. So how can she go and say something like that, right? When she's been in the fandom since 2005, right? If you didn't feel safe, right, and you didn't think that Doctor Who embraced women, well, then why did you stay a fan? It makes no sense whatsoever, right? What's happened is you've projected your own insecurities on the fandom. You write up this shite, right? And then you expect people, because you feel that way, you want people to feel the way you do, so you feel part of something. It's not their fault that you haven't fit in, right? Not their fault whatsoever. That's down to you. If you have low self-esteem and low confidence, that's down to you. Go and get it sorted out. Don't be going on to Twitter or YouTube or whatever, or in your Doctor Who magazine, or doing your articles, coming out with all of this shite, right? Because it's shite, right? No woman has ever been told, right, that they're not welcome in this fandom and they're not fans of this fucking show, Nobody has ever said that, right? This all started with this fandom, right? And the negativity all started with people like her, right? Crystal D, Ben Cook, and the media, right? They drummed up all this hate, all of this insecurity, and all of these lies. And that's all it is. It's lies. I am sick of these weak-minded assholes who won't go and get therapy or whatever help they need, right? Coming into this fucking fandom and telling us all we're pieces of shit, we're sexist, we're bigots, we're this, that, and the other because they've got low self-esteem and they can't fucking sort themselves out because they've no fucking confidence or anything like that. That's not their fault. Sort your bloody self out, right? And stop with your ridiculous, dangerous, quite frankly, dangerous comments, because those comments, you know what you've done? You and other people out there are responsible for dividing this fandom. Right? Because of your rubbish, right? Right? There's fans literally attacking each other. And that's all down to you, the media, and everybody else that pushes this fucking agenda, this bloody shite that women are not included, it's not inclusive in all of this rubbish. You absolutely haven't got a clue. You haven't got a clue. Nobody's ever stopped any woman from becoming a fan of Doctor Who. Now, classic era, granted. Were there as many women as there are today watching Doctor Who? No. But is that our fault? No, it's not our fault. See, this is the thing. We'll get blamed for that. Well, because the question will be asked, well, why wasn't there more female fans in the classic era? I don't know. Maybe women back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s didn't like fucking sci-fi. Did that ever occur to you? Right? Because women are different today in their tastes and the stuff that they like now. Now women actually read comic books. They watch sci-fi shows. They watch action flicks. You know, they've changed, right? But you look back in the day, most of the action flicks, yeah, they were bloke flicks. You know, that's why you had the chick flicks, the romance flicks, and all of that. Now the lines are blurred. You know, because women are just like blokes when it comes to sci-fi and all of this geeky stuff. They love it, right? But that's not our fault. It's not our fault what happened back in the day. So don't keep dragging all of this shit up. I'm sick of her. Sick of her. For 5 years, I've had to listen to her constant crying. And then when she got called out, you know what she did? Typical. Backtracked, start showing screenshots of articles that she done. And then she says, well, I'm going off Twitter for a while now. Why don't you do us all a favour and stay off Twitter, right? Because your words are dangerous, right? You've caused a division in this fandom, just like a lot of other people out there have. You ought to be ashamed of yourself and go and see a shrink, because you clearly have issues with your self-esteem and with yourself. Don't be projecting it on the fandom. I'm sick and tired of you at this stage, right? Doctor Who has always, its fandom has always welcomed everybody. The only people that are obsessed with sexual preference, the sexual identity of someone, or the gender, or the skin color, is idiots like you. Because at the end of the day, we don't care about all of that. If you're a fan of the show, you're a fan of the show, right? We don't take into account whether you're gay, lesbian, boy, or whatever it is, right? That shouldn't matter. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, you're a fan of Doctor Who no matter what. That's it, right? I'm sick of this rhetoric from this woman. And she's not the only one, right? And then you have gobshites agreeing with her. Another bunch of low self-esteem assholes. Go and get yourselves the therapy that you need, all right? And stop fucking trying to fucking ruin this fandom and ruin the enjoyment of a TV show because you idiots can't get over your own discrepancies and insecurities. And this is why we were in this situation, because a bunch of twats that never felt part of the show ended up getting a voice, and because of their Doctor Who's not inclusive, they never had women in the show, there's no diversity in Doctor Who, it's not inclusive. That never mattered, because if you were a fan, you were a fan, and that's the end of it. Whether you're a woman, man, child, black, white, whatever, right? Didn't matter. You were a fan of the show. right? The only people that are obsessed with all of this other rubbish is people like that time lady, and I'm sick of it. Sick of it. These people need to be called out, and she'll continue to be called out as soon as she, every time she comes out with a stupid comment, because I'm sick and tired. Because if this girl continues this rhetoric during the RTD era, trust me, people like her will do a lot of damage, right? And they're already setting up, by the way, the rhetoric for next year, because we already have Mr. Tardis coming out. Well, I'm not really sure about RTD and his production team because the behaviour of what happened back in 2005. So he's already setting up the rhetoric for next year. These folks are not happy that RTD is back, by the way. They're not, because they realise now that Chibs was giving them what they wanted, right? Piers is gone now. Chibs is gone now. They're not going to get what they want now. Right? What RTD is going to do, he's going to write Doctor Who the way Doctor Who should be written, and it will be inclusive for all. Of course, the Doctor Who fandom's being always inclusive. Lee, we know this. We know this. It's the false rhetoric from these people, and she'll be called out every time, and every other gobshite that agrees with her will be called out as well. And all of these other accounts, they'll be called out, because I am done with this, because this is not going to carry on into the RTD era. No fucking way, right? We're not going to have these fans lying through their teeth for another 3 or 4 fucking years, telling the fans this, that, and the other when it's not fucking true, right? The fandom has always been inclusive. And then when she tried to backtrack and say, well, I didn't mean women, I meant trans people and bisexual people, and now there's a safe space for everybody. And as a woman, I feel real safe now in the Doctor Who fandom. But you stuck around since 2005, so it mustn't have been that bad, love. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I've had me rant, but all I'm just going to say is it's bullshit. If it was the way she said it was, she still wouldn't be a fan of this show. Why would you be? Why would you be? The reason why we stick around is because I'm a fan since, obviously, the 80s. The Peter Davison was my doctor. So it's a little bit harder for me to walk away, right? But she's only following the show since 2005, if RTD was her first showrunner, I don't know. But she became a fan then, right? And now she wants to change everything that made the show good because she's insecure about herself. Just like all the other idiots out there, they're all insecure about themselves and they project on the fandom, and we have to put up with it. I'm sick of that whining and bitching. Go and get therapy, because this is not going to happen again, right? We're not putting up with this shit from you anymore, right? It's all lies. You're lying to your audience and you're disingenuous. And because of your rhetoric, by the way, homophobia has actually increased in this fandom because of people like you, because of your rhetoric, because you're trying to make out that fans are bigoted. You're trying to make out that this, that, and the other is happening. But unfortunately, there is a rise in homophobia. And that's happening because of people like you, right? Because you're pushing this narrative that isn't true. People can see right through it. And what's happening is that the people that you've convinced that this is the narrative are fighting with people that don't agree with it. And then what ends up happening, unfortunately, some homophobia does happen. And that's down to you, Mr. Tardis, and all these other people out there that have been pushing this rhetoric that Doctor Who hasn't been inclusive, right? Before all of this, before Chibnall came along, the fandom wasn't as bad as this, by the way, right? Go back and look. Fandom wasn't as bad as this. You've got to ask yourself, why has the fandom gone from where it was after Moffat left to where it is today, right? And you'll see it's because of the rhetoric of certain accounts out there, the media, and the production team, obviously, as well, coming out and saying things like it's not a democracy and stuff like that. This is what's happened, right? Nobody on this panel or anybody that supports me has a problem with anybody that's a fan, right? Sexuality doesn't matter to us. Their sexual preference, their skin color, whether they're male or female, trans, non-binary, whatever. Do we give a shit about that? No. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, you're a fan of Doctor Who. As I said, the only people that are obsessed with all of this rubbish is people like her. And I'm sick of it. It's a lie, and they've caused an awful lot of problems in this fandom because of that, and it has to stop now. But Marty, is there anything you'd like to add on it? I don't know if you've seen that whole situation with her, but she's been.
I haven't even. I can't comment because I've literally been off social media since all this crap.
Right. Well, I'll read. Well, hold on, because there's a few new people in the chat as well. So I'll read out what she said. Right. I'll read out what she said. Right. And when you hear this, and tell me what you think. Right. By the way, I do have some Doctor Who news for you. And I don't know how you are going to feel about this, because it's something that you all want, but not exactly the way you want it, if that makes sense. And I'll tell you now in a minute, after I finish this this line of crap that I'm talking about. This woman just really. Do you know what? Out of them all, look at I've had lots of arguments with people over the years, right? Ben Cook, Crystal D, and all of them, right? But there's nobody as irritating as the person that we're talking about now. I think she's the most irritating person, and I think personally she's done a lot of damage. She should be ashamed of herself, actually. Because it's dangerous rhetoric, folks. It is. It's not. Nobody. Look, we have never had a. No, I was even going to go as far as to say, if anybody has old photographs from the 60s and the 70s that could show me women at these Comic Cons, because back in the day, obviously, you would have having to use a camera and stuff like that. I would have put them up, because I know for a fact. I know for a fact that there were female fans of Doctor Who. Sure, behind the scenes, it was mostly women working on it. So I thought I just don't get all of this rhetoric. Anyway, where's this? Before we get into the juicy Doctor Who news, I have is right. So where is it? Right, where did she put? Right. Oh, by the way, as well, someone is claiming that they were abused, verbally, I should say, verbally abused at this Comic-Con, and trying to say, someone said that, what you dressed up as Jodie Whittaker's Doctor for, nobody likes her. Now, the funny thing about that is that this person seems to be the only person that was there that has said that like this. So I'm going to call it out for what it is. It's bullshit. You weren't approached. See, what's happening is you're trying to make out that not my doctors, because you're obsessed with them, turned up and said something. Not my doctors would not turn up if Jodie Whittaker was there, right? And even I know that, right? Even though it's not a group, it's people that use hashtags. But anybody that uses that hashtag is not going to turn up and see Jodie Whittaker. They got better things to do. I'd rather scratch me asshole than go and watch her, to be quite fucking honest with you. So, you know, and if I had been there, I would have went and seen the old cast anyway. I wouldn't have went anywhere near where Whittaker and Mandip Gill was, to be quite honest with you. They're not my favourite, so why would I go? You know, and this is the thing. So this person is lying through their arse. I don't believe that they were attacked, and I'm calling you out. You weren't attacked. Because if you were attacked, then all you little gobshites that are like-minded like you would have come out and said that they were attacked as well. Right? And said the same thing. But the responses that I've seen from London Comic Con, because I've read the tweets, you know, half of these fans might have me blocked, but they forget that I have a second account. So I can check their tweets out. Right? And I've checked their tweets out. And all of their tweets are positive. Right? So we got one out of all of those tweets saying that they were abused, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You're lying through your teeth. You were never abused. But it's typical rhetoric from you idiots. You know, oh, not my doctor, because come on, let's turn against them, not my doctor, because he's still not happy. He just can't let go. Jodie is gone now. You need to get over it. You might not have liked what we said, right? You mightn't agree with what we said, but it's over. It's over now. She's gone. She's got 2 more episodes. So what are you keeping it up for? There's no point. He's lost. And that's the bottom line. He's lost. We won. You's lost. Get over it. Right? Told you. You might have won a battle here and a battle there, but we're always going to win in the end. And that's exactly what happened because we could see it coming a mile away. You think we're stupid. Right, anyway, here's our tweets. I have to go into my video, by the way, to do this. Right, so she wrote this. Be right, BRB crying. I don't know if that's be right back, but I because I don't know these short writing on tweets. But right, so after so long on so many, right. So this is what she said. After so long of us. So many of us were bullied for loving Jodie's era. It's nice to see her being, Doctor being celebrated like this. So even when she's writing tweets like this, she has to put in the old bios and all this crap. Because it is also now this is where she got called out. This is the part. This is the tweet that she got called out for. It is also just like so lovely and reassuring to see how many girls and women that are actually out here being fans and being celebrated and feeling like there's a space for them. Up until the 13th Doctor, now listen to that line, right? Up until the 13th Doctor, it didn't feel like that space existed, or at least not in this inclusive way, right? So then she got called out for that, right? And then she replies with this. So the quote tweets are pretty fucking awful. Just to say, I really just meant that the 13th Doctor helped make Doctor Who more inclusive. Not that female non-binary fans didn't exist before her. We did, and we cosplayed, tweeted, fan fictioned to our heart's content, right? So she got called out. Now, as I said, I've checked the quote tweets, right? And as I said, there is one that actually calls her stupid, bitch, which is wrong. And I'll call that out. Don't be calling her names because this is what gives her the ammunition to come out and play the victim. So don't be slagging her off. But others were saying, oh, this is an absolutely ridiculous tweet. This is stupid. But she made it out as if she was being bullied, and it's not true. And you can go and check those quoted tweets out yourself. I was actually going to take a screenshot of all the quoted tweets, but then I thought, no, it's other people's quoted tweets. I was going to cover their name, but I was going to show you the quoted tweets. But you can go and check them out yourselves, and you can see that she's playing the victim again. So then after all of that, then right after she got called out, then she continued and she wrote. But it feels like a more open, inclusive space for people to get involved now. The Doctor being a woman has been a brilliant way in for people who might not have felt included before. Apparently, I'm a monster for feeling that. Of course, fandom is safe and inclusive. Tweets like this really make us all feel welcome to have our opinion. I've been called worse than this countless times just tweeting about Doctor Who. I wonder how many men get called a stupid cow for talking about their Doctor Who opinions. Well, I won't call you a stupid cow, but you are stupid because your tweets are stupid. And if you're going to tweet stupid stuff, you're going to be called stupid. So then she finishes up with this. Also, just like to say, what I really mean is everyone, girls, women, non-binary people, trans people, and everyone in between who has historically been excluded from fandom. Historically, show me the evidence. Show me the evidence where trans, non-binary people, women, girls were excluded from the fandom. Show me the evidence that proves that backs that up. Show me posts and videos from people that say that non-binary, trans people, and all of this are not welcome. Come on, show me. There is no proof because you're talking out your arse. Right? So then they finish up. As I said, also just say what I really mean is girls, women, non-binary, trans people, and everyone in between who has historically been excluded from the fandom because it just feels like everyone had their place, or at least more of a space now than 5 years ago, right? And then she puts up an article that contradicts herself, because then she wrote this article, and here's the headline of the article, right? So I've read out the tweets, right? Now wait till you hear this article, right? So this is the headline. I'm over the moon about Jodie Whittaker, but women like me love Doctor Who long before it got a female lead, right? So she even wrote an article back in the day that contradicts everything that she's saying now, right? And again, I'll point out that she said that the show didn't feel like it had a safe space until the 13th Doctor was cast, but then she contradicts herself and she says, no, that's not what I meant, right? And then she puts up that article, and contradicts herself again. Now, someone that we know did a response into those tweets, and if you've seen the video, I threw those that response up as well, which was great to see as well. But again, it's all bullshit, right? This is the kind of, and this is why she got called out. And then she plays the victim when she gets called out. Well, listen, love, if you're going to write stupid, absolutely bullshit propaganda tweets, you're going to be called out. It's as simple as that, right? To suggest that Doctor Who's fandom has not been inclusive, and that fans basically, this is what you're saying, that fans basically did not allow trans, non-binary, or women into the fandom, is an absolute lie. You have no evidence to back up that this is the case. As I said, maybe during the Classic Who run there were more men watching the show, right? But in 2005, when the show came back, right, it was for everybody. Now, back in the day, as I said, you know, I'm not saying women didn't watch sci-fi back in the day, right? But there wasn't as many as there is today. So the show reflects the fandom that it has today, right? So that's not the classic. So this is where this all comes from, but it comes from also their own insecurities. That's all it is. They're just insecure. Anyway, I'll give you the bit of news that some of you have been waiting on. So, how do I go about this?
Break it to me gently.
Right. Hold on. No, you haven't missed any news yet. I'm about to drop the news now. Just bear with me. I'm going into my emails because I want to read it out properly. Now I've had this information for a month.
Whoa.
And I'm only allowed to release it now. So, as I said, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't been able to release, but I'm allowed to release this bit. Now, I don't know how you're going to feel about it. I know some fans will be delighted, but I think some fans will question why they're going down this route. You will see what I'm talking about now in a minute. Just give me a minute. My emails are loading. Lee will be the head of BBC. Do you know, give it to me. I know how to sort them all out.
Tell you what.
Anyway,
you be the head of drama, and I'll show run it. What about that?
You could show run. That's it. And we get Lee in then as the enforcer. You know, we get Lee to, you know, when any of these twatty accounts come out with rubbish, we can get Lee to sort them out. Like, you know, we do BBC block them.
Lee could be in charge of the official Twitter page.
That's it. Well, at least we'll know that the Twitter page won't fucking pander if he took over. Fucking sick of that as well. Like, leave it out. Like, yeah. And I mean, you know what? The funny thing though was that photograph, because for the last 5 years they've been speaking about inclusion, diversity, and stuff, and then that photograph just showed you that Doctor Who isn't inclusive and isn't diverse. It's become, look at, they used to call Doctor Who a men's club, right? That's what these fans would say. But Doctor Who's become a woman's club now, right? And it's proof. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the is in the photographs of London Comic Con, and ever since this era, only female fans are raving about this Doctor. Right. And then I did see in response to her tweet that a lot of the white knights, the silly, the male feminists that are trying to get their nuts in, they're defending her and all. And I was like, shut the fuck up, you bunch of fucking soft ass men. Right? What you're defending that shit? You're defending that crap coming out of her mouth? Shame on you. Shame on you. It's dangerous, and you know it isn't fucking true. The fact that you are defending her, and by the way, she's not going to go out with you. So I don't know why you're defending all of these feminists, because they eat just for dinner.
I had a look today. I had a look at the Twitter account or all the social medias today, and I noticed how there's like 5 or 6 posts of the Timeless Children, and only like one thing about Roger Delgado's. Was it his birthday today? Was his birthday, or was it
probably is his birthday today? But they don't give a shit. The Timeless Child is more important to them.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that. I was like, okay, you could have done a few wee articles about Roger Delgado, but whatever. Hold
on, I'm gonna have to use my computer because I've dropped my phone so much now. It's taking ages to load. So bear with me. I've had to change over now. This is fucking ridiculous, man. What's going on with my phone?
You'll have to invest in a new phone or a new laptop or something.
I have one. Cheryl's had to get me a chip now for my phone, so I'll be able to. This phone that I use is only for doing me videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There actually, there's the fake account that was going around saying that Roadlock was still filming Doctor Who, which was another lie. See, there's a lot of lies going around, folks. A lot of lies. And as I said, be very careful who you're listening to out there, because there's a lot of false information going out. Right, where is this fucking email? Sorry, guys, this is taking longer than I thought. But, I'm building up the suspense. So I suppose this will be good. Right, where is it? I think we're getting close now.
Technical difficulties, please stand by.
Yeah.
Shelley, I see your comment there, Shelley, about Asa Butterfield being the Doctor. I would love him to be the Doctor, but I don't know whether RTD would go that young. Asa Butterfield's like
right.
24.
Here we go. The news that you have been waiting for. Right. So a lot of you are fans of Paul McGann.
Oh my God.
Okay. Drum roll. Here we go. Right. So a lot of you are fans of Paul McGann. Well, here is an exclusive. And I'd just like to say before I start, this is rumor and speculation, and we're not saying it is fact. But if you go by the recent history of this channel, when I do say things like this, more than likely, it's probably going to happen. So here we go. A Clone Wars style Time War series is being developed by Bad Wolf. It will be an animation. It will star Paul McGann as the Doctor, and it will be shown on BBC Three. Now, also, it's rumored that Layla Ward, Timothy Dalton, Lou Jameson, and John Leeson as well, and Briggsy will be coming back for the Daleks for this animated series, if true. Apparently as well, Torchwood will be back, but not with Barrowman. So there you go. Time War series is being developed by Bad Wolf. It'll be an animation. It will star Paul McGann as the Doctor, and it will be shown on BBC Three. Now, as I said, this is rumor and speculation. Why not animation of Big Finish? I don't know.
The
That's
contracts, the legal stuff to do with that will be
probably.
a nightmare.
But look, this is something that you fans have been asking for the last 10 years, right? Now, I'm not saying it's stamped on, sealed, and delivered. As you know, as I said, take it with a pinch of salt. But that's what we've been told. A Paul McGann series is being developed by Bad Wolf Productions. It'll be full animation and it will star Paul McGann. Now, someone's asked me 3D or 2D. No, we haven't been given any more information than that. So we'll have to see if there's any more to come out of this. They'll do anything but give Paul McGann a proper screen time. Well, in fairness, though, if you're starting the show again, it wouldn't be a good idea to bring him back like that, to be quite honest with you. Now, while I'm not a fan of animation myself, right, and I'm not really a fan, there's obviously I watch the DC Batman animations and all of those, and they're pretty good. If it's in that kind of style of animation, I'll be down for it. But they've been using this same style of animation that they've been using for the classic series, then I won't be happy with that. This animate, but listen, with Sony money backing it, I reckon it'll be done absolutely top dog. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think, guys? Would you be happy? Look, I know some of you would rather see him in a live action on the screen, right? But how do you feel about the fact if they do the animation, will that make you happy? Because I know a lot of people are fans of McGann and do want to see him on screen either way. So would you be happy with that?
Well, one of the things that I did hear way back was that there is this, obviously this rumors come out about RTD wanting to do what's been dubbed as the modern day Five Doctors. And there's talk, there's speculation that McGann's part of that you will see McGann in the 60th live action. So if that lined up well, it would be a nice wee sort of precursor to lead into the animation series if you wanted it. But obviously I'd love it to be live action, but listen, I'll take animation as long as it's done well. Torchwood, though, this is the sticking point. I don't know. You bring Torchwood back without Barrowman. Who's leading Torchwood? Is Gwen leading Torchwood?
I don't know. Hold on. I think I have info on that. Hold on. Uh-huh. What it says is, let me see. I think Eva Miles would be taken out. Eve would be taken over.
Yeah,
which would kind of make look. She did during the series when Jack did disappear. She was running Torchwood. Yeah. I think people do forget that. But look. Don't, as I said, look, even the rumor of Paul McGann, it's still a rumor, right? And can change. As you're saying, anyway, Barrowman's been going around doing interviews, and I do believe that those interviews are designed to rehabilitate, to be quite honest with you. I wouldn't rule out John Barrowman returning in the future, but maybe now is not the right time, because there's still idiots out there that are still.
Well, I would take this if someone's turned to me and said, "Listen, we'll bring back Torchwood. Eve Miles will be the lead. We'll keep an eye on the Barrowman thing, and if the dust has fully settled by, say, the second series, bring him back in. Just say he was away doing something." Or even have an adventure with the 14th Doctor, and then have him, pop up in the series finale of the season of Torchwood and be like, "I'm back." Something like that.
Well, I do believe, as Six Nick says there, I do think John is on a comeback. You know, he was defiant when he did that interview, and again, he got some stick. But at the end of the day, you know, he's been trying to explain the situation to these dumbos that are complaining all the time, and they don't seem to go. Well, he keeps apologizing, but then he keeps making. No, he's not making excuses. He's telling you exactly what happened, right, and how it happened. That's not him making excuses. That's him explaining the context of what happened. But you guys are taking that as, well, he's apologizing and backtracking. No, he's not. And if he can't accept his apology after, now this is his fifth one, since back then when the original incident happened, well then, like, you know, it's time for you to kind of move on, because whether you like it or not, John Barrowman hasn't been cancelled. He continues to work. He's getting more job offers, and I'm guaranteed it'll only be a matter of time before Big Finish releases Absent Friends audio, and it'll be. And I do strongly believe, even though I haven't received any information on this, but I do strongly believe that there's a rehabilitation happening right now, and I think he will eventually return, whether it's with Doctor Who or Torchwood. Yeah, look, Captain Jack is part of the original series with RTD, right? So don't be surprised. That's all I'm going to say.
Just to say, like, if you know, what I can see RTD doing is, I know you're sort of saying that he needs to go and do something completely different with new characters and new ideas, and I'm the same. I agree with that, but I hope that, you know, maybe it's the case where, you know, maybe RTD will bring in new characters. We'll have a load of new characters like how we did in Series 1.
Yeah.
And then maybe at some stage we could cross the two over and we'll have the first era characters interacting with the new era characters and stuff like that. That's what I'd like to see. So, like, you know, I reckon if I was RTD, I reckon, you know, the door's open to Barman. It mightn't be in his first series. It could be a second or third series, but I do think Barman's going to appear again. Like, I just, you know, as long as they can bring back Barman and write into the show that fucking Mickey Smith was killed off.
Yeah.
And Martha Jones has a new husband or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, look, we could talk about this all night. We've kind of covered everything that we needed to cover today. Obviously, the big news is for anybody out there that Piers Wenger is leaving his position as head of BBC Drama in May. That's 2 months from now. He's been headhunted and he has decided to leave a sinking ship. Not surprised there. Now, that was a stumbling block for a lot of fans now that he's gone, along with Chibs. Hopefully now that has convinced some fans out there that maybe good things will happen with RTD. And I do believe, as I've always said to you guys, I do believe that RTD will give us something amazing. And I do believe that he's going to do his own thing and there isn't going to be any interference from the powers that be because of what's happened for the last 5 years. But the fact that he's leaving a sinking ship is quite telling. This guy knew the game was up anyway, and obviously as soon as he was headhunted or thrown a lifeline, as Lee has put it, exactly, basically, because I reckon he probably, the spotlight would have been on him after how Doctor Who had went, because remember, Doctor Who was one of their flagship shows and it's been completely destroyed. So he's responsible for that because he's the boss of Chris Chibnall and he allowed Chibnall to do what he did. So he's leaving now. He's gone. So, you know, there are changes happening at the BBC now. Fair enough. BBC didn't actually do this themselves. They've decided to leave themselves. But it has put BBC now in an awkward position because they've probably lost 2 people that they considered the best people at their jobs, and they're gone now. They're working for someone else. So that's going to hurt the BBC. And the other news for anybody that's just popped in, a Paul McGann series apparently is being developed, Clone Wars style kind of animation or whatever, and it's going to star Paul McGann, but it's going to be animation. Again, how do you guys feel about that? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you have actually enjoyed tonight's stream. It was a good bit of news to wake wake up to. And thanks again to Marty for going on to all of these forums and finding some more information. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
We will have to wait and see. Look, as I said, it's full steam ahead now. And as I've said, there's going to be stuff coming out nearly every day, I reckon. So
you listen here. If those dates line up, basically, for those that are only jumping in, it's looking like production on RTD2 starts on the 25th of April, which would line up this has just clicked in my head, which would line up very perfectly for a announcement on the 26th of March, the anniversary date that Doctor Who came back, which would be exactly a month away from filming. So if I had to place my chips on it now, 26th of March, we're either going to get details of the 60th anniversary, or we might get details of who the Doctor is. But if I'm putting money on it now, it'll be the 60th anniversary.
I'm actually going to write that up now on my Twitter account. The 26th of March.
Yeah, 26th of March.
No.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to write. I'm not going to give any more details than that. And then, because you'll have loads of people, what are you talking about? No, what are you talking about? No. It's just something we speculate on the channel. Yeah. Anyway, I do agree with you. It would fit in line. Look, we've been pretty... I have to be honest, on this channel and with yourself coming on, I think both of us here have kind of figured out stuff a long time before anybody else did anyway. And the panels that we've had on, very clever people in my chat and on the panels, we do suss all these things out. But seriously, if that latest stuff on that forum that you got is true, it would line up and it does make sense. But let's say we'll look at 26th of March. I reckon you could be right there, but we'll see. But we'll leave it there. But Marty, do me a favor, because I seen that you did say a half an hour ago that you needed to go, but we dragged on a little bit. But that's what we always do, anyway. But before we do go, let everybody know about your new channel and what you're doing on it and what you have planned for the upcoming weeks or months or days ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I at the minute I'm flat out with university, so I haven't really got the time to focus on it. But once the summer hits, you'll start seeing stuff popping up. So there'll be live panels, pre-records, and whatnot. And I suppose I might as well shout out here now. If anybody would want to come on. What I'm thinking of doing is like one-to-one sort of interviews, and if anybody would like to be a guest or come on, jump. I might even jump over to I have got a Twitter account now for the YouTube, so jump over there and send us an email, and we might. My plan is to do pre-records with people, just asking them questions about whatnot. And then I'll edit all that together, and it might be like an hour-long video or whatever, and I'll fire it up on YouTube. So I'm thinking of doing pre-records for now, and then eventually we'll do live streams.
Fantastic. And look, check it out. You can put my name down on the list there, mate, whenever you're ready to go. So I'll come on and support you. But yeah, check out his channel. He'll have stuff coming up. Obviously, he's a bit busy at the moment, but know yourself, sub to him anyway, as we always do. But Cheryl told me to mention this before we actually left last night. She says, next time you do a stream, don't forget to mention. So I hate to do this, but there has been still no word from Alpha Omega. Now it's been 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I will ask anybody out there, if you know him, if you know where he lives, please get in contact with us. Because, look, 3 months, it doesn't, let's be honest, folks, it doesn't sound great. It's not like Alpha to completely go off the grid like that. It's just a pity we didn't know his real fucking name. We never asked. And that's what pisses me off. I never asked, because we go by our Like, nobody calls me Noel except a few people behind, but it's always Tardis on or whatever, you know. We don't call each other by our names normally. And I never asked him. And that's the thing that's pissing me off, because I never asked him. Because if we had his name, this would be easy, because we know where he lives. He lives in Philadelphia. So we could have narrowed down the search. But look, it's 3 months now. And I'm starting to think that something tragic has happened with Alpha. And he did have COVID, because that was the last message. He said he had it pretty bad.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard from him. So, you know, there's only so long you can wait until, you know, you start thinking the worst. Now, obviously, I don't want to think that, but it's 3 months now. It's 3 months now. So, I mean, guys, I just don't know what to do anymore. Because, like, how long do we wait before we, you know? It's very difficult to talk about, because, you know, I don't want to be thinking things like that, but it has been 3 months.
Yeah.
So, unless he's still in hospital fighting like some people have been, or unfortunately, the other thing has happened. So if anybody does know him, again, I will ask is please get in contact with myself, Lee, or anybody else that's on the Tardis zone. If you know this guy's name, please let me know. No, we don't have a number. We don't have anything for him Tardis time. That's the problem. You know, we used to talk behind backstage and all, but we always called him Alpha Omega. You know, we never really never asked his name. I wasn't the only one, but I do feel bad that I didn't push it. You know, give us a name, phone number. I've even said to Lee that to do the same. You know, because we don't want, like, people like Alpha and Lee. Obviously, Lee's boyfriend is obviously in Germany or something, so Lee is on his own. So with stuff, this is why we have to keep in contact and make sure that we have contact numbers for everybody, especially people that live on their own, so we can get in contact or try get in contact and see what the story is. It's very worrying. Very worrying. And I mean, Cheryl even brought it up last night, so it's on her mind as well. Yeah, we have his email, but again, he's not responding to emails. He's not responding to his Twitter account. He's not responding to anything. The last time I spoke to him, it was to see was he coming on a stream with me, and he wrote back and he says, I can't come on. He says, I have COVID pretty bad and I won't be doing anything. And I said, right, fair enough, get well soon. And then sent him one more message and didn't get a reply. And then I've been sending him messages ever since, and he hasn't even seen the messages. So that's why we're worried. So if anybody knows where he lives, we know he lives in the Philadelphia area. We have put a photograph up of him on Twitter. So if you recognize him, please get in touch with us and let us know. Because yeah, it's getting to the time now where panic stations are setting in. Me too, Noel. Alpha always chatted. God bless. I know. That's the thing. I hope he's alright. I hope he's just in hospital or something, or he's just decided to step away. But even with him stepping away, he would have got in contact with one of us at least. Even if he wasn't talking to me, he would have got in touch with Lee. Or if he wasn't talking to Lee, he'd get in touch with someone else that's connected to the channel. This is why I'm worried. So we'll leave it there anyway. But if anybody does, please let us know, because it's getting to the stage where I don't know where else we can do. We've had people that even have gotten in contact with us that have friends that are police officers that have tried to find out information, and we've got, without a first name and a second name, we're screwed, basically, you know. So we've tried everything. Even some people have gone back through his old videos to see if he's mentioned his name in any old videos, and he hasn't. So I think he's kind of private bloke anyway, you know. I think that's why he insisted that we call him Alpha Omega. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I didn't want to kind of end on a bum note, but, you know, Cheryl reminded me, so I just wanted to bring it up again. But Alpha, if you are out there, mate, please, 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 just get in contact with anybody. I don't care who it is at this stage, but please let us know that you're okay and you're doing well. That's all we need to know. You don't need to tell us why you're away from social media or anything like that. All we just need to know is if you're okay. So if you're listening, please get in contact. And as I said, if there's anybody out there that does know him personally, please get in contact with one of us and let us know what the situation is. And I'll leave it there. You know where to find me. I'm not going to do the shout-outs because I think it'd be inappropriate. But you know where to find me anyway on this channel. But we'll talk to you again during the week. Have a good one. We will be back tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow's Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, for Cobra Kai. Thursday, we start our Ghostbusters watch along. We start with Ghostbusters, the first movie. So I've already got a couple of people that want to do that. If there's any more people that would like to join us for Ghostbusters on Thursday night, you know what to do. Send me a DM or send me a DM on Messenger or send me a message on Twitter and we will sort that out. Right, gonna leave it there. Good night, folks. Have a good one. I hope you have enjoyed the news that we've given you today. Don't forget to like, share, and please subscribe. And most importantly, get this video out there and share it to your heart content, because I think there would be a lot of people out there that would be delighted to hear that Paul McGann could possibly be getting his own series after all of this time. And animation, in a way, kind of does make sense if you think about it. Maybe, even though Paul McGann hasn't changed over the years, I think that's why they're probably doing animation. You know, because they're probably gonna design him as the old Doctor with the kind of long hair. They'll probably go with the Doctor that we seen in the movie, that version of him. So we'll see. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody in the chat as well, for getting involved. We did get a super chat, so hold on. I better read that out, actually, because that'll be remiss of me. We did get a super chat a long time ago, and I forgot to read it out, so hold on. I don't like missing super chats. Where is this bloody thing? Holy shit. Jesus, guys, man. There's loads of comments here, isn't there? Wow. Where is this super chat?
Way back. I found it. I found it.
Right. Read it out for me, will you?
It says, the elements for saving Doctor Who are in place. The chances of this are more likely than any other franchise. Time will tell, but there's hope.
How much was that super chat?
That was $5 US, I think it is.
So $5 US, and who was it? It was from Douglas. It was from Douglas, yeah. Sorry about that, Douglas. I've been going because obviously the chat jumped. So ideally, I put these up on the screen, but I can't bloody find it. Holy shit. Anyway, it's read out anyway. But listen, Douglas, thank you for the super chat. Maybe Paul McGann should be the 14th Doctor, says Douglas. You know, stranger things have happened, mate, but I doubt it. But thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the support from everybody over these last few years. It's been absolutely wonderful. I haven't always enjoyed it, but you guys make it worthwhile, I have to say. And as I said, thank you for that super chat. And thank you guys for all the support. And as I said, don't forget to subscribe to Marty's channel, because it's going to be, trust me, you know, when I do say someone's going to do great on YouTube, I'm mostly right. And I think we're going to have another gem in Marty's channel, especially as we go through the RTD era, because he is an RTD fan. So go and check out his channel, because obviously when RTD comes fully back, then he'll be obviously focused a lot on RTD and doing all of those other stuff. He doesn't want to just get bogged down in Doctor Who, by the way. He has plans to do other stuff as well. I just want to make that clear. So check it out anyway. Thank you guys in the chat. I'll see you later. Here are the trailers now, if I can get them up. Here we go. So good night, folks. Have a good one. This was the Tardis Zone Talks, and we will see you soon.